Hello fans, and welcome to this week's edition of UNCP Women's Soccer Update. I'm Colin Bonnickson, here with UNCP head women's soccer coach Lars Anderson. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me back.
We got a couple games to go over since the last time we had a show. First off, last Wednesday, team dropped a tough 1-0 matchup to Georgia College. How did you think that game went?
Well, I thought the first 10 minutes we came out and looked very nervous. They were really all over us in the first minute and a half. They had two very good goal-scoring opportunities. Then we settled down. In the next 25 minutes or so, we were the dominant team. And unfortunately, it's become a trend this year for us to create a lot of goal-scoring opportunities but not capitalize on them. And we had some very, very good goal-scoring opportunities in that 25-minute span following the first 10 minutes of the match. Then we got kind of behind a little bit the last 5 minutes or so of the game. They kind of got the game back a little bit. They scored about 15 minutes into the second half, and after that, the last 30 minutes, we were pushing forward trying to find the equalizer. I give them a lot of credit. They took care of one great goal-scoring opportunity. It's tough to put a ball in behind Brittany Bennett, but in the end they scored one goal. We didn't. We have to get more efficient in the final third, and we weren't against Georgia College, and they managed to manufacture a goal, so they deservedly so won the game.
The Lady Bobcats came into the matchup with a 3-9 record, a little better than that record would indicate.
We knew they were a better team, Colin. I had to let the players know that their record is not indicated where they're at every single game that they had played prior to coming to our place. They had been in. They had played some of the top programs in the country. Really, they've had a very difficult schedule, and they lost those games in overtime by a goal on late goals. So we knew certainly it wasn't a case of underestimating the opponent. It was just a matter of we're not putting the ball in the back of the net. And Georgia College did a good job, like I said, making sure they got all they needed, which was one goal.
Okay. On Saturday, your team made the trek to Morrow, Georgia for a matchup with Clayton State. That one ended in a 0-0 double overtime tie. What were your thoughts on that game?
Well, the first half was sort of a non-half. There really not much happened in the first half. Neither team, it was like two heavyweights feeling each other out, and I think we had two shots. I think they had two shots. There was very little, quote-unquote, action in the first half, and then the second half was the complete opposite of that. It became wide-open soccer, end-to-end. They had a couple of breakaways. Brittany made a couple of fantastic saves. We had 3 breakaways in the second half. Then the first overtime, they really bombarded us, and we had to sort of bunker in and get the ball out of our own end. Then the second overtime, we were the aggressor and had a couple of great goal-scoring opportunities. I think 0-0 was a fair result in that game. It could have gone either way. Would it have been unfair if they'd won? No. Would it have been unfair if we won? No. But really, a draw was probably a fair result. That team's getting better and better. Gareth O'Sullivan is a very good coach. They have improved their roster immensely from last year. They got a couple of special players. So 0-0 was probably a fair result. You're talking about a team that, as late as yesterday, lost to Columbus State, in overtime. I mean, they're a very good team now. Certainly a team that may make some noise in the conference tournament.
Okay. You kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but your team is having trouble in that final third, scoring goals, especially recently. Can you pinpoint the cause of that, maybe, and then kind of say how do you fix it?
Well, the obvious cause would be our leading goal scorer. 2 leading goal scorers from last year. Anna Svensson did not return to our team this year. She opted to continue her studies in Sweden, and Rebecca tore her ACL. So between the two of them, we lost 25 goals. However, can't cry over spilled milk. We have to deal with the players that we have available, and we have a lot of players that we run in at the forward positions that really aren't natural forwards. They're midfielders. Their job is not normally to score goals. So we're having to manufacture goals as a team and not rely on pure goal-scoring forwards. And I can't remember the last time. I think our leading goal scorer right now is Andrea Colén, and she has 7 goals. I cannot remember the last time our team did not have a player in double-digit goals. So obviously, this is an issue we have to address as a team. We're not asking anybody to score 15 goals this season. We're asking players to contribute 1, 2, 3 goals, and last 3 games, we've created a lot of opportunities. We've come incredibly close. It's frustrating. I've been a college coach for 17 years, and I can't remember the last time I was the coach of a team that went 3 games without scoring a goal, or even went 3 games without winning a game. We have 2 losses and a draw, but we remain positive. We are currently sitting 5th in the PBC. We're 7th in the region, 1 slot outside of the national tournament. So we really control our own destiny. We have 3 games to go in the regular season, and obviously the PBC tournament, which for the winner has an automatic qualifier. So we remain optimistic. It's a little bit of a confidence issue, and I believe we'll sort this out. And I believe we will score some goals down the stretch.
Your team will have had a week up before its next matchup against Montevallo. What are you expecting to see out of the Lady Falcons? And then also, can you talk about the long trip and what effect it's going to have on your players?
Well, I think Montevallo is a team that's very similar to Georgia College. Do not underestimate them. They've had some very, very close results that, unfortunately for them, have not ended up in their favor. But they're a quality team. We played them twice last year, obviously, in the regular season, which was a 1-0 victory, and then we played them in the first round of the PBC tournament, which was a 2-0 victory. But both games were very, very close. They have a couple of special players. They have an Icelandic midfielder that's very good. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her name, but she's very, very good. They have a front runner from Canada who's a sophomore this year, who's their leading scorer, he's a high-quality player, and they got a couple of other kids that are very, very good. I give them a lot of respect, and I know it's going to be a tough game. And yes, the travel is an issue, but you can't play in the Peach Belt, particularly not be in Pembroke, because we travel to Georgia 4 or 5 times every season, so the travel can't be an issue. And this is even further. Obviously, we're talking not Georgia, but Alabama here. We have to put that in the back of our minds and focus on the game and not worry about the travel.
Okay. One more last non-conference matchup before your season finale against Lander, coming up next week against Catawba. What are you expecting to see out of the Lady?
Well, again, they have not had record-wise a great season, but the results indicate, they took Armstrong Atlantic to overtime and lost. They were actually up 2-0 on Armstrong and ended up losing 3-2 in overtime. That's a result that's impressive to me. They've had several other results that have ended up not being in their favor in the end, but very close calls. So, again, Catawba is a team that we've battled over the years and had, I think we're 3-2 over them against them lifetime record, but they've always been a very, very good club. I expect nothing but, tough fought battle. And again, we will return from Alabama on Sunday, get a day off on Monday, and then we're going to Salisbury on Tuesday. So we will have some tired legs and some tired minds, but we have to, focus on the task at hand, which is obviously to try to win that game.
All right, Coach. Thank you for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
Good luck next week and this weekend. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Be sure to tune in next week for more exciting UNCP women's soccer action.